Batgirl number 4, written by Gail Simone, art by Arjun Siaf. We left off last issue with the whole thing with Nightwing and her telling him that she needs to do this alone, and it doesn't really tie into this issue at all. So this issue picks up with a dream sequence. Batgirl in costume is sitting in her wheelchair, and she's being reprimanded by herself, Barbara Gordon, out of costume, standing, and Barbara's basically just telling Batgirl, like, you have a fantastic life. Things have always been really, really good for you. You've got a good father, good friends, good home, and why do you deserve this miracle? Out of all the people here, why do you aren't, what makes you so special? And it's basically just tearing her apart via survivor's guilt. She shoots up in bed, realizes that it is survivor's guilt, and she just is upset because it's been a year as of tonight that she got her legs back. So she walks out into the living room, and her roommate is sitting there, Alicia, staring at a Christmas tree, because apparently this is 2 days before Christmas Eve. So, yeah. And they're just sitting there, and they're talking for a little bit about, like, oh, how did you used to do Christmas back home in Singapore or whatever, and what was your Christmases like and stuff like that. And Alicia asked her what the best Christmas present she ever got was, and they said how, first off, she listed off on how her mom walked out when she was 12, and then a year ago tonight, her dad came home and said, hey, there's a treatment in South Africa. And that's all that was said, and then they, it's implied that she took it, she got her legs back, and now she's able to walk again. So she's reflecting on that, and Alicia is able to put two and two together, like, oh, so that van I saw with the wheelchair ramp, that wasn't a family thing, that was your thing. And you still keep it a year later? And Batgirl's kind of getting overwhelmed, and she just rushes out the door. And she's like, I'm sorry, I just need to take some air. So she walks out. She puts on her Batgirl outfit, and it's just like, all right, well, I don't want to answer questions. I just kind of want to do the right thing tonight. I want to do something simple. So she comes across this group of, it seems to be like homeless muggers or something like that, but they got a cell phone app that tells them exactly where Batman is based off of like sightings from other people, and they're like, look, Batman was spotted on the other side of town 2 minutes ago, so we're totally able to just mug this wealthy couple that are walking by and also say kill them. So that is explicitly said. So Batgirl drops down, and she's like, oh, well, it wasn't keeping track of me. And there's even a guy who's like looking through his phone being like, there's no button for Batgirl, how am I supposed to track this in the app? But she just goes through, beats them all up, and she feels good that she did it. She feels good that she's able to do that. She's also going through this whole time saying how she remembers all the names that were on Mira's paper because of her eidetic memory. So once she beats up all the guys, she talks to the couple, and the couple are like, oh, thank you so much. Now we're able to go see our kids again. Thank you. And that triggers it in Batgirl's head. She's like, got it. I know what I'm going to do. So she realizes that Mirror's whole thing was his family, how he feels responsible for his family dying because of the car crash. So she knows his name. She just got all of, she took the note from in her head. She told the police, like, hey, here's all the people that are going to be targeted. Put them all under protective custody. Then she went to the graves of the guy and was like, hey, I told the police all the names. Your note is now completely useless. They'll be totally safe. If you want to come after me, though, because we all know I'm on your list, I'll be at the House of Mirrors in the Funtime Carnival or whatever. And she puts that all in a note on her child's grave, or on his child's grave. So they go to the House of Mirrors. Mirror busts in and sees Barbara's inside, and they're like, all right, here we go, final standoff time. And they start fighting, and Barbara's like, all right, just got a plan. I just have to make sure he doesn't get, to me. He can't actually get to me. And so she starts beating him up, drops a shoulder on him, but then he gets a few good swings in. It's your basic fight scene. The whole time, she's just describing how the fight is, taking a toll on her, but she's also landing hits and whatever. She smashes up his mask, and then she's like, all right, cool. She ducks away and turns on a projector, which starts showing the news clippings and pictures of the car crash that he caused just all over the mirrors, which are all reflecting back onto his outfit, which is itself mirrors. And because he's a little bit crazy, he's like, oh no, get it off me, it's all over me, ah. And so in his grief and terror or whatever, Batgirl lands the one punch she needs. She delivers the moral of like, look, good things happen to bad people, bad things happen to good people, but if a good thing happens to you, like, it's allowed to happen. Miracles happen to good people too. There you go. That's all they're saying, whether you deserve them or not. So she slaps the cuffs on Mirror, and then we cut back to later that night. She's, I guess, opening gifts with her roommate. She got her roommate a ceramic knife, and then her roommate got her some sort of statue thing. And they're happy to spend the night with each other when there's a knock at the door, and Barbara gets up and answers it, and it is her mother. Her actual mother is standing at the door saying, oh, don't you recognize me? I'm your mom. This felt like a really quick wrap-up. Like, it didn't... I don't know. It seems to me like nothing was particularly learned by Barbara in this to, like, justify the fact that, like, oh, now I know the plan. It's like, no, that's just... I understand it was more of a thing of self-growth. Like, she came to terms with the fact of, no, Mirror's wrong, and now I can defeat him. But, like, I don't know. For me, writing-wise, like, I like the overall arc. Assuming that Mirror is done, I like the overall arc. And the art is fine as well. I have no problem with that. My problem with the specific writing in this issue is the fact of, like, what changed? Like, she had her survivor's guilt. She's had that the whole time. She didn't really get over it until she was already in the fight. But then, like, what made the plan... Like, right now, she was like, oh, yes, those things I learned 2 issues ago. Now I can finally use them. It's like, if anything, it makes it feel like the last issue is completely unnecessary, if that makes any sense. So, overall, just judging this on its own is kind of hard, but I'm going to give it a 6.5 just because, I don't know, it just felt like there was maybe it was the whole arc as a whole. This one felt pretty fast, but the whole arc as a whole, it felt like there was a little bit of padding there that didn't need to be there. And I just have to take the points off on this one. So, yeah, 6.5. But, hey, her mom's back, so that's rife for soap opera drama.